Canada bukan Amerika dah.
Bukan tanah belah.
Dalam Amerika dah.
Aku Bebe, bebe udah kebam ya. Kebam buhat ali, nah kebam buhat lah begini jati. Ini pada kebam, ini begini jati.
And they're steamboats. They are made of a high-quality Swedish bell steel that has not rusted or corroded in the past 170 years. And if you hit these rings with a rock or a hammer, it would still chime much like a bell would. There's a few more of these steel rings on the other side of the rock as well as we go around it. Much easier to see today, and one of them's even with the second deck.
Khẩu lên. Con này lên lên hả? Ta khá đi tới chỗ để nhà nó biết để tắt ta cũng đòi sự.
Now, before the two towns of Taylor's Falls and St. Croix Falls were settled, the Dakota and the Ojibwe Native American tribes were here. Then came the early French explorers, Father Hennepin and Daniel Duluth. Those Native American tribes were at war with one another, and when the Treaty of 1838 was signed, this area was opened up to the loggers for the white pine timber. Now, the same day that treaty was signed, a paddle wheel ship by the name of Palmyra left St. Paul. She had been preloaded with enough supplies to build 2 large lumber camps and 2 sawmills, one for each side of the river. Those 2 lumber camps then became the 2 towns of Taylor's Falls and St. Croix Falls. Now, right where the Taylor's Falls Queen is parked at today, the site of the original steamboat landing for which many of the early settlers had landed, most of which were Scandinavian descent. Here they would take all of their belongings and walk over to their farmlands.
Mười trên có sẵn lên cái pasal mười cái được gặp nó mà lên juga di dalam mental kebanyakan di kota lama mau apa pun nggak apa-apa lah ada kamu anh nói lấy kiếm
This gives me an opportunity to tell you about the boat you're riding on today. This is the Taylor's Falls Princess, from proms to square dances to family class reunions to business meetings, but some of our most popular are wedding and wedding receptions. We've had over 500 wedding and wedding receptions on the 2 boats to date. Our first wedding was the most memorable, though. It was back when the Taylor's Falls Queen was just being completed. The bride actually had to wait for her special day in order for the finishing touches to be placed on that boat. And when that day finally came, Captain Mike, he was very nervous. This is his first trip aboard a brand new boat, and it was a wedding nonetheless. Now the bride saw that he was nervous, and she approached him and let him know that there was nothing to worry about. It was her 3rd time getting married, and it just gets easier every time. And just off to our right, if you peer through the trees there, you can see a campground for the Minnesota Interstate Park. They have a picnic area just downstream from there. Very modern campground. They have electricity at many of those campsites, running water, and even hot water showers. Now, that state park was formed in the year 1895, making it the 2nd state park in Minnesota. Casca was the first. And then off to your left, if you peer beyond the island there, as you go around, you see the picnic area for the Wisconsin Interstate Park, and they have a campground just beyond the tree line. That state park was formed 5 years later in 1900, making it the first state park in Wisconsin. Now, these 2 state parks soon combined to form the first interstate park system in the United States. However, a separate entrance fee is still required to enter each state park.
Nó có sao cái bom với nó lo phin này được nè. Thế thay gì nữa lo phin.
Mama có achi.
Banyak mak orang ni. Sekarang banyak mak orang lah punya, apa orang tu kalau banyak kalau ada tak orang ada kalau. Baik, papa, aku ada ni. Papa.
Bagi sini lemu mana ni?
Aku dua. Aku dua. Okey, ada aku kena macam mana?
Bawa sini pulau ni.
Kalau le tak pelai kali. Apa lawannya uno, apa? Đây cái đồn này ta khởi bên chơi đã qua là đã. Bye bye. Sila tali kita pulang ke dok. Ada kiri dan ini.